Everyone, rise and shine. It's 6 o'clock here on your Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. Jason and Jen here with you. Good to be back.
Good to have you back, despite the fact that we just discovered you have not seen A Christmas Story or A Christmas Vacation. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk
okay.
about. I've seen Home Alone, so that counts for something.
All right, John, does that count? Let's talk about the weather. Let's give Jason a break.
What is wrong with you?
I know.
It's like throw up in my mouth from hearing that. 61 degrees this morning, 7 to 60. So kids at the bus stop, I would wear whatever you want to wear. How about that? Shorts, weather's doable today, but it's not going to be hot this afternoon. We're not going to do this rapid climb. So we'll start at 62 and end at about 68. Cooler weather, you got to go up to International Falls. That's about it. Everyone else is hovering the 60 mark. You can thank the cloud cover. Clouds do two things. They hold the temperature in the morning high, and then they don't allow you to warm up in the afternoon. So that's what you're going to see here. Warm start. You can only make it to around 69. I cannot rule out a very isolated shower, but it will be a passing shower. It's not something that will wreck your plans, but it is something to just be prepared for. We will talk about that warmth in your forecast.
We're looking at the Fish Lake split in Maple Grove right now at 94 and 494. Traffic is moving along very nicely this morning. Drive times are looking good, about a 17-minute commute on 94 eastbound if you're coming in from the northwest suburbs. And all across the metro, take a look right now at your route into work. No matter where you look, it looks really good this morning. We're not seeing any major crashes out there, Jason.
That is good to see, Megan. Thank you so much. Let's turn now to our top story. In less than a month, 9 Target stores in some of the country's biggest cities will be closing.
Yeah, it is a dramatic step in the retailers' battle against theft and crime. So take a look at this map. No stores are closing in Minnesota, but stores in New York City, Seattle, Portland, and several locations in the San Francisco Bay Area will close by October 21st. CC is live for us this morning with more on the crackdown and Minnesota's own efforts to stop retail theft.
Hi, good morning. So as you saw on that list, most of those stores that are closing out on the West Coast, and as you mentioned, none of the stores in Minnesota are closing. Wanted to reiterate that. But here in Minnesota, there's a new law aimed directly at cutting down on this kind of crime. Minnesota leaders say it separates simple shoplifting from organized retail crime, which we're told involves 2 or more people. And it allows prosecutors to combine the total value of stolen goods over a given time. So criminals can face stiffer charges and in some cases up to 15 years in prison. Minnesota leaders say it's necessary as flash mobs and international groups are hitting stores at devastating levels.
I've never had it in my point of career where people are afraid to come in and work their cashier job. Never have I heard in my career that people are worrying about making it home at night, working in retail. That's something that's unprecedented, and we've never seen it in kind of the industry get this bad.
Now, before making this big decision to close down these stores, Target officials said they did try to stop thieves by adding more security guards and then also locking up merchandise that frequently gets stolen. Guys.
All right, CC, thank you for that.
Now to a story that's been developing in the last 9 hours. This morning, the light rail stop at the Lake Street Midtown station is back open. It shut down for almost 2 hours last night after a man fell onto the tracks. So Metro Transit police told us the man's leg was run over and pinned under the train. Ouch. The crews had to cut a train door to free him. Metro Transit police are investigating exactly how this happened. We're also following new developments in the case of Kevin Mason. He's the Minneapolis murder suspect who was accidentally released from custody over in Indianapolis, I should say. Right now, his girlfriend, Desiree Oliver, is in jail, charged with assisting a criminal. Court documents say she picked up Mason after his release and then allegedly lied to investigators about what she knew. The Marion County Sheriff's Office in Indiana now believe Mason left Indianapolis the same day he was released. A $10,000 reward is being offered for information leading to his arrest.
Well, 6:05, and we are live in Washington, D.C. right now, where a government shutdown is looming over Capitol Hill. Lawmakers have just 3 days to pass a short-term funding bill. If they don't, the government runs out of money. NBC's Ryan Nobles has the latest.
We are inching closer and closer to a government shutdown, and even if there were a grand bargain on the table, lawmakers are simply running out of time to get the legislation passed. The Senate is out with its own continuing resolution. It's likely something the House won't be interested in. The House passing its own appropriations bills that the Senate won't pass. And while the two chambers go back and forth, there are real people being impacted. And this time around, it's military families that are at risk of losing out on their paychecks in just a couple of days. Coming up on the Today Show, we'll introduce you to some of those families directly impacted and tell you how they plan to cope with what could be a government shutdown.
So if a deal isn't reached, several services would stop, including WIC. That's a nutrition program for women, infants, and children. Without it, 7 million Americans and more than 100,000 Minnesotans wouldn't get additional food support. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says it might have enough contingency funding to support WIC during a shutdown, but only for a day or two.
In a matter of hours, former President Donald Trump will make his way to Michigan as we enter day 12 of the massive auto worker strike. Now, Trump is skipping the second GOP debate to speak to auto workers at a rally tonight. His visit comes 24 hours after President Biden made history in Michigan by becoming the first sitting president to join workers on a picket line. The president of the United Auto Workers Union says he will not meet with Trump today, even though he met with Biden yesterday. In the last 6 hours, the leaders of the Writers Guild of America voted to end its almost 5-month strike. Now the rest of the union has to vote on the tentative agreement. The 3-year deal includes pay hikes, stronger benefits, protections against the studios using AI. It also guarantees streaming compensation.
Well, Minnesota and Wisconsin are among 17 states suing Amazon. A new lawsuit by the Federal Trade Commission was filed in the past 24 hours. It alleges Amazon used its market power to block competition on its site from offering better deals. The lawsuit claims Amazon buries items from other sellers so far down that customers never see them. The big test now for the FTC is proving that that practice hurts you, the customer. Amazon is denying the allegations. It says if the FTC gets its way, you will have fewer products to choose from, higher prices, and slower deliveries.
This morning, Governor Walz is opening up about his pick for the state's new Office of Cannabis Management and what went wrong here. Last week, he tapped entrepreneur Erin Dupree to lead the office, but she stepped down within a day after allegations that she sold products at her former store with levels of THC that were too high, and also issues with unpaid taxes and wages.
And I think here skepticism is the name of the game. I messed this up, so I think skepticism, I own that. And I think when I talked to my team this morning, I guess the unfortunate thing in this is that all of the rest of it is going really well. But if I know people are saying, well, how can we believe? We'll have to prove it.
Now, the governor says a focus on this second try will be hiring someone with regulation experience. Dupree did not have that, as she had a cannabis industry background. The holidays will be here before we know it, and if you're looking to make some extra money this season, UPS could use your help. The delivery company is trying to hire 1,200 drivers and package handlers in the Twin Cities for the holiday season. The company says a lot of those positions do not require an interview. They say the online application process takes less than 20 minutes.